Howdy team. In today's show, I wanted to talk to you about how I have managed to remove myself from the day-to-day operations of my mortgage brokerage and managed to make it 90% passive. And not just that, since the beginning of the pandemic in March of 2020, we've managed to grow from what was a team of 7 to now a team of 20. And I believe that you can do this too. I've been speaking to a lot of my mentees. I've had emails recently from advisors who are still acting like advisors instead of acting like owners. And this originates from having a scarcity mindset. You feel like you constantly need to be writing business. I'm the biggest earner. I do more business than anybody else. I can't give away 50% of that. That mindset is an absolute massive trap that will stop you living the life that you realistically want to live. Now, if you want to have a team of 5 or 6 and still want to be slogging your guts out, writing business, dealing with clients, managing a diary, perfectly fine. This is your business model. But for the ones of you who do email me and do have conversations with me and do send me Facebook messages saying that you are still advising, you don't know how to move from advisor to owner, this one is specifically for you. Because we're now approaching, in my brokerage active, a 7-figure brokerage. And it's 90% passive for me. My role is marketing and strategy direction. I have operations manager, I have admin managers, I have a growing team of advisors, a team of administrators. We're taking on Kickstarters. We're recruiting a marketing team to help generate more leads. We're rebranding as we're growing to take us to the next level, because what got us here will not get us over there. I constantly flutter between, I'm quite happy with a small team of 10, keeping it lifestyle, making sure that we are elite. But then on the other side of the coin, I generate thousands of leads every single month. My advisors' diaries get packed. Returning clients come back 3, 6, 9 months later to those advisors. And I've taken the decision that we're growing organically. If we end up being 1,000 advisors, absolutely fine. We provide a solution like the good old days. We provide the business in a box. We provide for you the ability to just focus on advising clients and getting the best result. Everything else is leveraged and outsourced. That business in a box. What are you doing? Wasting time on, dealing with compliance, dealing with marketing, dealing with sales, just because you want to have your name above the door. The advisors who have come to Active are seriously experienced, which is massively helpful because of the type of clients that we deal with. Now, the journey that I've been on to get to this point is what I'm going to share with you, because hopefully it's going to inspire you and also help you to understand how you can remove yourself from the day-to-day operation to do more of the things that you love with who you love. Because I sat and looked at my advisors during the course of the pandemic and said, hang on a minute, how are they self-employed? How are they managing to have freedom and autonomy and time in their life to do more of the things that they like, go for a walk during the course of the day? And I'm absolutely slogging my guts out, trying to make this business work and pushing it forward. And I realized that I had to change my mindset to not end up in the same situation that I did back in 2015, where I was trapped by my business, where I had the mindset then that you potentially have right now. I was in the office 12, 15-hour days. I was working harder than anybody else. I felt like I had to be the first one in and the last one out. And if I wasn't, then I wasn't successful. And that is not the mentality that helps to move your business forward, because I was transacting clients. I was selling life insurance back in 14 and 15, not as much as my top advisors, because I did allow myself time for management and leadership. But now I don't sell at all. But the things that I'm working on are 7-figure tasks. My advisors write 150 grand a year. And that is our goal, is every advisor on our business will take home 6 figures, and they won't have to worry about any of the administration part of the job. We want advisors who do that, which means that my role is to inspire, motivate them. So I don't deal with £150,000 tasks because my responsibility is the strategy and the direction and the leadership of the entire business, which means that the tasks that I work on are the 7-figure tasks. The website, the strategy, the CRM system, the direction, monitoring my operations manager to make sure that he is monitoring the advisors. So let's get into it in terms of the step-by-step process. So this will hopefully give you an indication and change your mindset, because the advisors that we work with within our business are massively experienced. We are a collaborative team. We help each other. We inspire each other. My job, yes, is strategy and marketing, but is to make my advisors' lives easier. I now work for my advisors. If they have a problem, an issue, something's not quite efficient, the system doesn't work in the way in which it needs to, we're not getting the right type of clients in front of them, that's my job to sort out. That's what I spend my day focusing on, which is enabling the business to grow at a rapid rate. We're taking on 1 or 2 advisors every single month because of the volume of leads that we're generating, because my job is lead generation, is marketing, is branding. And you're going to see it coming up. And I'm going to talk you through in future episodes, lots that we have going on behind the scenes as we start to launch them and as they start to happen. So let me take you back to 2016, when I got back to the mortgage industry after a 7-year outage, when I built my insurance brokerage, buying leads, paying 20 grand a month, low quality, crappy life insurance leads that left me trapped. We had my most profitable year and I absolutely hated my business. So when we decided to move to the house that we are now in the July, my bank turned around to me and said no, because I left all my money in the business, didn't withdraw it as dividends. You'll know what that's like. So I then was a dog with a bone, rang 180 lenders in 3 days, found a whole niche of self-employed mortgages. Within 17 days, had a mortgage offer from Coventry Building Society, and we moved into the house in the October. I downsized my team, kept 1 PA, and started all over again. I had a team of 15, and we downsized to me, my PA, and actually 1 insurance advisor who serviced the existing client bank for a few months before he departed as well. It was all amicable. I told them what was happening, but this was the process. January 2016, I started all over again. I did 12-hour days, 15-hour days, 6-7-day weeks for almost 12 months with me and my PA. Now, I wrote just over 250,000 in that first year because I was using social media and I was using organic marketing, and I was attracting clients who know, loved and trust me. In my first 12 months of trading, from April 2016 to 2017, I banked £310,000 with me and my PA. So the principles, you have to work hard in order to be able to set and forget. You have to delegate and elevate in order to be able to move your business forward and take it to the next level. So what then happened was I was spending more time writing business, and I needed to still continue to do the marketing, because with marketing creates sales. So at that point in time, I took on an apprentice, £10,000 a year, to help manage the social media, to help repurpose my videos, to not just put them on Facebook, but to put them on YouTube, most of which you can see go right back to the later point of 2016. So that was the first step. I was writing a hell of a lot of business, working a lot of hours, 2016, me, PA, and marketing towards the end of the year. So 2017 became about process and became about systems. Now, I still managed to bank the same amount of money, but I managed to work 1 day less because I put processes and systems in that made me more efficient. With that 1 day, I was then able to focus on marketing the business and networking, and actually getting myself out of the office to go and network and to drive business forward. 2018 was staying in the same spot, but I actually thought about joining a network, and I did set up a secondary business underneath Primus in the June after speaking to all of the networks, because I wanted to leverage out compliance. I had the fear of recruitment and wasting my time supervising rather than selling, checking files and dealing with all that. Didn't want to deal with it. So I went to Primus, superb network, had 3 months with them, had all my file checks, and realized that actually that wasn't the best place to be. DA life, as I've been since 2008, underneath active, was the life for me. So I closed that business, and that door then shut. I knew the direction that I now wanted to embark upon. So I took on, my next one was a trainee advisor. Now, I wouldn't recommend that you take on a trainee advisor as one of your first ones unless you're going to bring them on with a view of being a paraplanner, which is what I used that trainee advisor for. In his first 12 months of trading, he wrote £140,000 because he was constantly under my supervision. He had admin support with my PA, and we were able to write more business. His focus initially was on remortgages and dealing with the remortgage backbook of people who were now coming back from early 2016. So that leveraged my time. That gave me more freedom. That meant that I could monitor and manage and train him, but also invest more time into marketing and administration. Now, when he began to bank money, let's say he was initially doing, £6,000 a month, and then he was getting a percentage of that, I was able to reduce my target because of the income and the sales that he was making. So that was the first incremental change. And that is where so many advisors don't become business owners. When you start getting an additional income into the business, you have a choice. You can still continue to write the 250 grand a year, 300 grand a year. Or if you've now brought somebody into the business who's, let's say for argument's sake, banking £5,000 a month, you can reduce your own target by £2,500 per month, which that time you still earn the same income. But that time you invest into growing the business, into managing, monitoring, measuring, improving, and getting some more time back. Now, when I invested that time in the October of 2018 into more marketing, luckily because of my social media presence, my amazing advisor, Sally, reached out to me, who used to be a Barclays compliance manager. She was able to monitor 70 advisors, doesn't cause any issues you can imagine. It was the perfect person to join as that first experienced advisor, insanely diligent and insanely good at her job. But that meant when she joined in February, irrespective of her experience, for the first 3 months of her job, I did all the strategy calls, all the first appointments, because I wanted to make sure that I was selling the fee correctly. I wanted to make sure that the conversion rate of the leads that I was dealing with was not going to dip, because that would have had an impact on my income that I could take personally. But what it meant was, in this world, I was doing a 30-minute phone conversation with the client. And that meant that I was actually able to delegate 90% of the work and just split the commission on the back end without affecting anything at all. So one, it enabled me to see that Sally was awesome and she understood the systems and the process, and I was still controlling it and then delegating to her. Now, I know there's also a scarcity mindset for a lot of advisors and managers and owners of, oh, but my clients only want me. No, they don't. That's your arrogance. I used to just turn around and say, brilliant stuff, no problem at all. I'm going to get Sally to give you a call in a couple of days, and she's just going to make sure that we get all the documentation in, and then we'll have a chat at the end of that. By that point, when she's spoken to them 2 or 3 times, they know her, they trust her, they like her. They're more than happy for her to process the mortgage. You just have to let go in order to be able to grow. Now, that was the key increment, because by 3 months, I'd created a whole warp of time in my day, because I'm only doing a 30-minute phone call and I'm leveraging out the other 15 and a half hours to Sally to process the applications thereafter. Now, if Sally starts banking, 3, 5, 10 grand a month, I'm getting 50% of that, which enables me to reduce my target once again. Still, the business earns the same amount of money because I'm leveraging my time and reducing my time. So then Sally gets really busy, and within 3 months, by the August, after joining 6 months in February, she joined. By the August, she recruited her husband as her administrator. Now, that meant that she could write more business. That meant she could leverage her time even more, which meant that she could handle more leads from me, which meant that I could free my time up even more to focus more on the marketing, the strategy, the direction of the business. So then in probably the October, I think it was, the November, Andrew joined, advisor, ex-Halifax branch manager, loved leadership, loved managing people, didn't really like advising. And we had a few conversations about that. But I was able to leverage more leads out, same process. I did a strategy call, referred it on to Andrew for a couple of months, got him good at the systems, the processes and everything else, created more time in my life. And by that point, I was able to almost pretty much by the end of 2019, stop writing business because I'd offset it against those 2 advisors. But I was able to monitor, measure and manage them to make sure that they were hitting the numbers that they needed to hit to cover the business, to make sure that that worked. Now, the business wasn't growing. It was still writing the same level because I had stopped, but I had created time, and that time enabled me to focus on marketing. Now, a lot of that time during 2019 was when I launched Financial Pro. March of 2019 was when I launched my coaching and my mentoring to the financial services industry. You know, we've got over 150 mentees going through our programs and helping them to build a more successful financial services business. Now, in 2019, I did invest a lot of my time into the coaching and mentoring side. So 80% of my time went into the coaching and mentoring. But I could have invested that time into, I still could have been advising. I still could have had some time in order to, but I still would have freed up a hell of a lot of time. I just chose to put it into the coaching and the mentoring side. So what I don't want anyone to think is, yeah, it's fine for you, Gary. You created a second business and you created a second income. You have a choice to do that too. You could technically, if you wanted to, start investing in property, which I know many mortgage advisors do, financial services professionals do. I actually don't really like property, you know, so I don't want to do it. I much prefer controlling and building a business. So businesses are my passion. If you love property, then the time that you save by bringing advisors in, go and buy a couple of properties, go and start learning about it, start investing into that. If you want to become an artist, go and put some time into making money from art. You have the choice. Now, what I could have done was if I hadn't have started Financial Pro and Mortgage Pro and the coaching and mentoring, I wouldn't have fully stopped writing business. I would have continued to write business during 2019. Because that would have then enabled the scale to happen much, much quicker. But in freeing my time up, you know, all I did was move, for argument's sake, 50 grand a year from one business in active to 50 grand a year in another business. Where I was earning it doesn't make any difference. I was still working. I was still doing sales. I was still helping clients. They just happened to be in another area and arena. So you can do exactly the same thing. You just basically, when you bring an advisor in, you reduce your target. You offset the money that they're bringing you to reduce your target and invest more time into growth, marketing, sales, management, leadership, and strategy and direction. Now, in freeing up that time to focus more on the business in October, particularly when Andrew started, that meant that I could take on more advisors. Now, the lead volume at the beginning of 2020 had gone through the roof by this point. So that meant that I could take on 5 advisors in one fell swoop. Now, my profit and loss sales sheet targets for the year made me understand that 5 advisors was the absolute point whereby I wouldn't have to worry. Now, by this point, Sally was Cass. She didn't need any monitoring, measuring, or managing, realistically. And she's bloody good at hitting the protection penetration. Andrew didn't really want to advise. He wanted to move into leadership. We'd had that conversation. The 5 advisors joined at the beginning of February. By the 17th of March, that's how much it is ingrained in my day. I said to Andrew, now's the time for you to become sales and operations manager. And he took over to lead the business and deal with the compliance, deal with the file checking, deal with the one-to-ones, deal with the weekly. Now, the beauty of what you've got to realize is everything happens in a 3-month increment, because the business that you write today is going to pay you in 3 months and it's going to be massively consistent in 6 months. So the beauty of this industry, it's a pain in the ass to get started, but once you get the ball rolling, you've always got 3 months worth of safeguard behind you. So as Andrew had been consistently writing business up until the March, he had 3 months worth of pipeline there. So we did a deal whereby half of his time would be spent continuing to write business and half of his time would be starting to measure, monitor, and manage my advisors and make sure that they were doing what they needed to do, which meant that now we could actually offset his income. And that's the beauty of it. You have to know your numbers. You have to have a spreadsheet. You have to be able to measure, monitor, and manage. He was able to focus on the protection penetration rate. He was able to focus on making sure that the file checks were all done. And then slowly but surely, within 3 months, from March until June, he was 50% advising, 50% manage. From the June until September, he was 25% advising, 75% managing. Then from the from the September, if I've got my months right, I've cracked myself right up now, haven't I? March until June, June until September. Yeah, so from September onwards, he was then full-time operations manager in 2020. And that meant the business became completely passive. His wife, or His wife then joined, soon to be wife at the time you're listening to this, or the time of recording this. Soon to be wife then joined to help in the head office as an administrator. He started at home. I got an office in Gloucester, and he began to manage the office in Gloucester. He began to do all the one-to-ones with the advisors. He deals with the compliance firm. I do the quarterly one-to-ones with the advisors to make sure that they're on par. We have a WhatsApp group. We communicate a lot, but my focus is on strategy, direction, vision, mission, values. Andrew is embedding the culture, and we have a weekly one-to-one on a Monday where we go through our structure based on everything that's happening in the business. My head office is over 100 miles away. I'm in Essex. He's in Evesham. But it doesn't make any difference because of the way of the world. And luckily in 2018, when I was looking at compliance, I was looking at systems. And I put a system in that enables us to work from absolutely anywhere. So here's the thing to summarize all of this for you. If you are still acting like an advisor and you want to move into having a business that runs without you, having a business that you can actually lead and manage rather than being stuck and trapped in the day-to-day, then all you've got to do is work out the incremental scale. You can't stop one day immediately and stop writing business because that's going to have a huge impact. But as your advisor within 3 months begins to earn more money, you can slowly but surely reduce your target. If your advisor in the first month goes and banks 1,500 quid or £3,000, I think is pretty much what most of my advisors are banked in their first month, I'm going to get £1,500 of that, which means the next month I can earn £1,500 or I can write £1,500 less. By month 2, they're writing £7,000, £8,000, which means I'm getting 4,000 on a 50-50 split, which then means that I can reduce that time again into advising, which means I can leverage more leads, which means I can generate more leads. The time that I save goes into marketing, goes into strategy, goes into management, goes into leadership. But as I mentioned, now in 2020, with the business being completely passive, it runs without me. The team deal with the clients. I constantly speak to them and make sure they are happy in the job that they're doing, advising day to day. Andrew measures, monitors, and manages them. I then focus on the strategy, the direction, the marketing, managing one person, which is Andrew. Andrew then manages everybody else in the business, and we drive the business forward together. We've taken on an insurance-only advisor to help the advisors that don't do insurance, because we've got some specialists on bridging, commercial and development. We've got an advisor who only wants to focus on mortgages because that's the thing that he loves. So therefore, he leverages out the insurance. We've got 3 Kickstarters joining to help the administration. We're going to build an in-house telesales team to contact all of the thousands of leads that I generate every single month, because we don't ring thousands of leads every month. I generate them onto the email marketing database. And if you understand and come to my workshops and my webinars, you'll understand the principles that I teach to the financial services industry, where you can generate thousands of leads and hundreds of thousands of pounds without having to buy from high end providers who charge you 50 quid a lead. I can get 100 leads for 50 quid a lead. It's like understanding the principles that I teach is what is helping to grow and drive the business forward. And we have got some fantastic things going on. We are absolutely loving the growth curve that we are on. We're putting new systems in place, new website in place. That's where I focus. I focus on the 7-figure tasks that move the business forward, that are going to take us from 1 million to 2 million, 2 million to 4 million, 4 million to 8 million. As we grow slow and steady, organically, working for our team to make their lives easier, to ensure that they love 80% of their day, that they're able to achieve their lifestyle and financial goals. First question when somebody joins me is, where do you want to be in the next 3 years? What does your ideal life look like? How can we help you get there? Because if I can understand that, what motivates and inspires and deals with them, and they love 90% of everything that they do on a day-to-day basis, that's going to make Active more successful. That enables me to understand, where's the frustration, where's the anxiety, where's the worry, where's the pain in the ass stuff that you're dealing with every day? How can we leverage that out so you just do more of the things that you love every single day, which enables you to earn more money, take home a 6-figure income, and be part of something that is going to absolutely be different to every other brokerage in the UK. I hope that's inspired you, and I hope that's given you some thought processes around how you can move from advisor to owner. It's building blocks. It's foundational steps. It's a big mindset shift. It's the reason I coach and mentor many 6- and 7-figure financial services professionals who feel trapped, who feel stuck, who feel like they need to still keep advising. If you love advising, happy days. Like, I don't even do my best friend's mortgages anymore because I knew in 2016, my passion is making sure that nobody builds a business like I did for 10 years back in 2015. Nobody should make the mistakes that I did. And you only understand that by investing in yourself. And I've invested a hell of a lot in myself to get the knowledge to be able to achieve what I have in the last 6 years. And I don't say that to impress you. I say that to impress upon you that you can achieve more mentally, physically, and financially if you really do believe it. It's about understanding how to create leads, increase sales, and build a more profitable and more successful business. And it's you that is potentially holding your business back, holding your lifestyle back, if you don't move from advisor mindset to owner mindset. Step by step, incremental change. Thanks very much indeed for tuning in. Remember, now's the time to become pro.